Hello and welcome to tonight's ASMR experience in my bedroom. Thank you for choosing me to help you sleep. I think the setup is pretty much the same from my last house at the moment until I get some new furniture, but this is actually in a different house to what the other ASMR videos have been in this series. So I hope you're doing really well today. I hope you're feeling relaxed, calm, and ready to sleep. If you're not yet relaxed or calm, well, don't worry, because that's what I'm here for. Every time I move, my feet go like this and I almost fall, so I'm just trying to watch my balance. Well, why don't we start first of all with taking some relaxing, deep breaths. Okay, so just breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. And in and out. There. Does that feel better? I hope it does. So I hope so far you've had a nice week and have been able to manage all the things that you wanted to achieve. If not, it's totally okay too. Now, in the last few video comments, I've seen quite a number of you wondering whether I can instill some, positive encouragement. So I thought we'd begin tonight's video with a little bit of positive encouragement, helping you have that sort of go-getters attitude with some soft whispers. I have a number of triggers as well, and I have a story to read to you. So it's just going to be a really relaxing sort of one-to-one experience today. So I know that at the moment things haven't been so fantastic for the start of 2021. I know that we have, most of us are seeing, increasing rates of coronavirus and other issues too, and as a result, many of us are locked down in our houses, unable to see people again, and sometimes this, lack of socialization and, this sort of saddening start to our 2021 can be difficult to have that real, get up and go. And that's totally understandable. Most winters I just want to hibernate. I feel like bears hibernate, don't they? I think I would make a good bear. I think that's just like what my body wants to do. It wants to just sleep through the whole of winter and stay awake the whole of summer. But if that sounds a bit like you, well, you're not alone, but unfortunately we can't do that. So it's all about just really pushing ourselves over that really yucky feeling where we're just, feel stuck in our ways, and we feel that often there's not anything tangible to look forward to because of the uncertainty. So I just want you to really take a deep breath and just know you can do it. You can do it. You have so much ahead of you this year. You have a really exciting year, and don't let this, steady start to the year affect what you've got going for you and affect your plans or your goals. Because there will come a time when we'll be able to be back out, traveling, meeting new people. We'll get back to that. So you gotta get yourself ready. And if that's if you just want to, if you just want to, just try and get through this time by eating as much chocolate as possible and watching television and it makes you happy, then you do that. I'm all for in this time doing what makes you happy. But if you're somebody that really feels like you just don't have that motivation and it would make you happy to be able to get that motivation and to keep up with your goals and tasks, then you can do it. I believe in you. You're all so wonderful. And you can absolutely 110, 120%. You can do it. Okay? You can do this. You can still make this your year. And you can still have it January on that couch and still make it your year. So don't put too much pressure on yourself though to do what everybody else is doing. Do what is best for you. Okay? Do what is best for you. Do what is best for you and only you. Now you might notice that I have brought out the fluffy mics again. Oops, that's so loud. This is quite elasticy. So that was a loud snap when I put that up there. So these I have had for these covers since I got my roads last year, and I only have them out on occasion, but I brought them out to play on Monday, and loads of you really loved them, so I kind of thought, do you know what, for this video this evening, let's just bring out these fluffy mics again. Just for some added sounds and to really just relax. And I've got some triggers to use on them as well. But first, we've got a couple of really relaxing little things to read. Okay. Now, I've been toying over whether to read them in Mansong because I love them in Mansong, but I'll maybe leave that till later on. Instead, I have a bedtime story to read to you called The Legend of O'Donoghue by T. Crofton Croker. It's a really short bedtime story, but hopefully will help you relax. In an age so distant that the precise period is unknown, a chieftain named O'Donoghue ruled over the country which surrounds the romantic Lowleen, now called the Lake of Killarney. Wisdom, beneficence, and justice distinguished his reign, and the prosperity and happiness of his subjects were their natural results. He is said to have been as renowned for his warlike exploits as for his specific virtues, and as a proof that his domestic administration was not the less rigorous because it was mild, a rocky island is pointed out to strangers called O'Donoghue's prison, in which this prince once confined his own son for some act of disorder and disobedience. His end, for it cannot correctly be called his death, was singular and mysterious. At one of those splendid feasts for which his court was celebrated, surrounded by the most distinguished of his subjects, he was engaged in a prophetic relation of the events which were to happen in ages yet to come. His auditors listened, now wrapped in wonder, now fired with indignation, burning with shame, or melted into sorrow, as he faithfully detailed the heroism, the injuries, the crimes, and the miseries of their descendants. In the midst of his predictions, he rose slowly from his seat, advanced with a solemn, measured, and majestic tread to the shore of the lake, and walked forward composedly upon its unyielding surface. When he had nearly reached the centre, he paused for a moment, then, turning slowly round, looked toward his friends, waving his arms to them with the cheerful air of one taking a short farewell, disappeared from their view. The memory of the good O'Donoghue has been cherished by successive generations with affectionate reverence, and it is believed that at sunrise on every May Day morning, the anniversary of his departure, he revisits his ancient domains, a favoured few only are in general permitted to see him, and this distinction is always an omen of good fortune to the beholders. When it is granted to many, it is a sure token of an abundant harvest, a blessing, the want of which, during this prince's reign, was never felt by his people. Some years have elapsed since the last appearance of O'Donoghue. The April of that year had been remarkably wild and stormy, but on May morning the fury of his elements had altogether subsided. The air was hushed and still, and the sky, which was reflected in the serene lake, resembled a beautiful but deceitful countenance, whose smiles, after the most tempestuous emotions, tempt the stranger to believe that it belongs to a soul which no passion has ever ruffled. The first beams of the rising sun were just gliding the lofty summit of Glenagh, when the waters near the eastern shore of the lake became suddenly and violently agitated, though all the rest of its surface lay smooth and still as a tomb of polished marble. The next morning, a foaming wave darted forward, and like a proud, high-crested warhorse, exulting in his strength, rushed across the lake toward Toomey's mountain. Behind this wave appeared a stately warrior, fully armed, mounted upon a milk-white steed. His snowy plume waved gracefully from a helmet of polished steel, and at his back fluttered a light blue scarf. The horse, apparently exulting in his noble burden, sprung after the wave along the water, which bore him up like firm earth, while showers of spray that glittered brightly in the morning sun were dashed up at every bound. The warrior was O'Donoghue. He was followed by numberless youths and maidens who moved lightly and unconstrained over the watery plain as the moonlight fairies glide through the fields of air. They were linked together by garlands of delicious spring flowers, and they timed their movements to strains of enchanting melody. When O'Donoghue had nearly reached the western side of the lake, he suddenly turned his steed and directed his course along the wood-fringed shore of Glenaa, preceded by the huge wave that curled and foamed up as high as the horse's neck, whose fiery nostrils snorted above it. The long train of attendants followed with playful deviations the track of their leader, and moved on with unabated fleetness to their celestial music, till gradually, as they entered the narrow strait between the Glenaa and Denise, they became involved in the mists, which still partially floated over the lakes and faded from the view of the wondering beholders. But the sound of their music still fell upon the ear and echo, catching up the harmonious strains, fondly repeated and prolonged them in soft and softer tones, till the last faint repetition died away, and the hearers awoke as from a dream of bliss. The end. I hope you enjoyed that one. Short but sweet. We have a little poem now called Winkin', Blinkin' and Nod by Eugenie Field. Okay. Winkin', blinkin' and nod one night, sailed off in a wooden shoe, sailed on a river of crystal light into a sea of dew. Where are you going and what do you wish? The old moon asked the three. We have come to fish for the herring fish that live in the beautiful sea. Nets of silver and gold have we, said Winkin', Blinkin' and Nod. The old man laughed and sang a song as he rocked in a wooden shoe, and the wind that sped them all night long ruffled the waves of dew. The little stars were the herring fish that lived in the beautiful sea. Now cast your nets wherever you wish, never afraid are we. So cried the stars to the fishermen three, Winkin', Blinkin' and Nod. All night long their nets they threw to the stars in the twinkling foam. Then down from the skies came the wooden shoe, bringing the fisherman home. 'Twas all so pretty a sail, it seemed as if it could not be. And some folk thought 'twas a dream, and they dreamed of sailing that beautiful sea. But I shall name you the fishermen three, Winkin, Blinkin, and Nod. Winkin and Blinkin are two little eyes, and Nod is a little head. And the wooden shoe that sailed the skies is a wee one's trundle bed. So shut your eyes while Mother sings of wonderful sights that be, and you shall see the beautiful things as you rock in the misty sea, where the old shoe rocked the fishermen three, Winkin, Blinkin, and Nod. So good. Sorry, I moved to stand because I have the most ridiculous pins and needles in my feet right now. I'm not even sure why. Probably because I have such bad circulation. I don't know if any of you are the same, but I always have cold hands and cold feet. So much so that I always have to wear socks to bed. It will honestly wake me up. And I don't know what it's. I just have been waking up all the time at the moment. Right now, I literally can't move. You know that way when your pins and needles are like actually so painful and really heavy. Oh my days. Sorry, this is probably not relaxing at all, but I'm going to keep it in. I'm going to show you the realities of when you film videos in strange places. Well, maybe I should do a little bit of touch while I'm here and I'm up closer to you. Some of these sort of in my bedroom videos I would do the touch sequence using the rituals book, but lately we've just been making up our own touch sequences, so I'll do one for you now, okay? So this touch sequence is to help you fall asleep. Okay, so I'm going to touch the top of your head. I'm going to touch your eyes. I'm going to touch your ears. And I'm going to touch your nose. Okay, head, eyes, ears, nose. That reminds me of like a song. Like, what's the French one? Tête, la balle, genou, 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 genou. Tête, la balle, genou, 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 genou. Les joues, les oreilles, la menton, la bouche, la nez. Tête, la balle, genou, 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 genou. I actually think that was probably just goggle tea. I can't even say it. Goggle tea, gook that I just said. And that's probably not French at all, but that's how I remember it, so, you know. Okay, right, we're instilling sleep. Okay, so we're going to touch your head, touch your eyes, touch your ears, and touch your nose. Okay. Touch the top of your head. Touch your eyes. Touch your ears. And touch your nose. Touch the top of your head. Touch your eyes. Touch your ears. And touch your nose. There. You've got inner sleep just traveling through your body. Virtually. nails now officially stopped. Do you know, I'm kind of a bit nervous in here because I did see a spider earlier and I couldn't get it. It went under my bed, so I'm gonna have to like try and find it. I would never kill one. I throw them out the window. Not in a bad way, like just pop them out. But I just remembered and I'm like, sorry, that's not very relaxing. Okay, so I'm gonna maybe sit back up again because I've got a couple of little triggers for you. There we go. Just to get the most out of your ears. So we'll see. So we've got the brush to just really gently stroke your ears. That's the brush. And we have the toilet brush for it. It's not a toilet brush, it's a bottle brush. See that different? I wonder if that sounds like real hair. I like to experiment. Maybe if I go up the way. Like so. And we have this one as well. And we're just gently. I think, oh, that's relaxing on my face. Yeah. It smells so good because it's been sitting beside my bag with all the aromatherapy oils in them. And the other one I have is this one because I kind of wondered if this could work on the fluffy mics. So let's see. I mean, it goes on better. We just need to find out what that is going to sound like. video. Sweet dreams, my loves.